Well, what made me bridge the gap, I believe, would be my faith. I believe when I went towards my faith more, I realized that me and my parents had a lot more common ground, and I started seeing things more in their perspective, because you know, Gurbani teaches you to really respect your parents and respect human beings, and try to put yourself in their shoes. And so when I started doing that, I realized that when I did all those things, all the wrong things I did in my life, my parents didn't want anything bad for me. They were just trying to do the best for me. So my faith really opened those doors.
I think with time, and you know, when you grow up a little bit more, it's a little easier for you to start understanding like your parents' point of view, and you understand like how much you hurt them by doing like things that they might not approve of. I wouldn't say that, you know, I right away would have wanted like better communication with my parents, because I've come to accept that, you know, there's generally like a generation gap, and not always will they understand your point of view, and not always will you understand their point of view.
I would say yes. Like, if they don't have an open relationship with their parents, they don't have an understanding of how good it can actually be, right? So they just see the one side of it, the one side that they hang out with their friends more, and that life is just this way, and that they're scared of like what their parents might think of them, if they might judge them, or if they might disapprove.
Yeah, I think that's a huge issue, because if our youth are trusting their peers more than their parents, what does that say? I mean, everyone during the teenage years, they're all going through a certain experience in a certain time, and they don't really know who they are. And they don't know if their choices are the best choices, and they kind of have the mentality that their parents are out to get them. So I think if one at that age were to trust his friends more than his parents, who just want the best for him, I think that would lead to not the best choices, unless you had a certain good group of friends, but most of the time that doesn't happen. I mean, I personally don't think you'll ever, I think it's very rare to find friends who care about you enough at the same level as your parents. So I think that's a very dangerous thing that's happening.
I think they definitely need to be more proactive. A lot of parents are probably afraid of introducing ideas that they think like their kids are too young to know about and stuff. But I think with this day and age, and with the media and stuff that you see on TV and in movies, like kids have been exposed to like a lot of negative influences at an early age. So I think the parents need to be, you know, more proactive. And I think when you start to be proactive and, you know, to communicate with your kids, they're going to realize that, you know, that's probably something they need in their life with their own parents, and they'll turn around and have that open communication with the parents as well.
I firmly believe in the saying, the family that prays together, plays together, stays together. I know it sounds really corny, but I really believe that if not even praying, for me, that's what's kept us together. But I believe that if you could just sit down to dinner and ask how your day is or what's going on, or you let your kids know that, you know what, you can come to me with these really, really hard choices. You can come to me about alcohol abuse or drug abuse, and I'm not going to kick you out. I'm not going to get mad at you. I'm going to be there for you, and I'm going to try to steer you in the right direction.
It played a huge role, because I was always around them at school and everything, and the only time I was really with my parents was at home. But then what do you do when you're at home? You study, you eat, you sleep. You're not really around them as much, so your peers really influence the types of choices that you make, the types of friends that you make, your outlook on life.
I think Sangat played a really, really important role in my life. In high school, I had a lot of friends who did a lot of not so bright things, and I followed that example because we were all one, and we all hung out, and we all did the same thing. We dressed, you know, we all followed the same fashions. We even started talking the same. So I believe Sangat, or the people around you, your peers, have a huge influence on which way you're going to go. And I see that now in our youth. People who hang out more with people who study, guess what? They study a lot more. People who hang out with peers that skip school, they're more likely to skip school. It's very rare to find someone who hangs out with people who drink alcohol or drugs and they don't themselves. It happens, but it's very rare. So Sangat plays a very important role.
I think it'd be really beneficial. The more positive you are, I think the more better off you are in your life.
Wow, I think for me personally, I wish I had that growing up. I think that an institution that promoted positive beliefs and positive belief in yourself would be very beneficial to the youth of today. And I think for me personally, I think that would have been amazing. I would have made a lot. I would have had these realizations that took me maybe 10 years to get after high school. I could have had them in high school. So I think that's very, very important. I think that's what's really needed nowadays.
I think it'd be a very, very positive influence, definitely. Like, just to have a place where you know that you're getting consistent information and values taught to you, that, you know, like, it helps you strengthen your thinking, because of course kids are very impressionable, and well, everybody is, right? And you know, when you just don't have like the positive influence or like that constant place where you can go to receive all this stuff, that your mind tends to wander, and you know, you're kind of, when you make decisions, it's just not as ingrained for you to make like the proper thing, like decisions.
Thank you.
You're welcome.